that's meant for me. Say where she may hide, must I travel far and wide till I am beside the someone I can be something to. Night I kneel and pray, let tomorrow be the day when I see the face of someone I can be something to. Is love.
Yes, thank you, Phyllis. And good morning, Unity of Payson. I'm delighted that you're here with us this morning. Of course, we are a hybrid service, so those of you who are joining us online, we're delighted to, well, maybe not see you right at the moment, but to have you here with us. And as we join this time together, would you be with me in the quiet as we open in prayer? God of all goodness, we are grateful that we have an answer for that question, where is love? Because divine love is in us, around us, above us, below us, and is us, because we, as well as being fully human, are fully divine. So this morning, as we consider love, join together, bless each one who has joined. May they go away enriched and lifted up. We are grateful again for this day, this time, this present moment, and so it is. Amen.
Amen. And now it's time for our opening song, Love Opened My Heart.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision to right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide right here and now.
Shining light into the corners of my mind. What
Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. My decision, right here and
Okay, it's welcome and connection time. Welcome to Unity of Payson. My name is Donna. I'm your platform hostess this morning. We're glad you're with us. We want to recognize those who are new to Unity of Payson, or those who are just returning, having been away for a while. We invite you to remain after the service. We'll break bread together, virtually and in person. If you'd like to be informed of our weekly activities, we have a Monday e-newsletter. Please leave us your email. You can leave it in the chat if you're new here on virtually, or you can go to unityofpayson.org and leave us a message. Again, we warmly welcome you. And from our Unity of Payson family, we say together, we love you. We bless you. We welcome you. And so it is. And now it's time for gratitudes. We're grateful for those who support Unity of Payson with your time, your talent, and your treasures. We're grateful for the events of last week, which included Morning Cafe, every morning, 9:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, except for Sundays. Qigong and Tai Chi on Sundays and Wednesdays at 4:30, and organic gardening with Ram and the prayer chaplains meeting. The prayer chaplain meeting has been rescheduled for next Saturday, the 25th at 11. We're thankful for the technology that allows us to meet both in person and virtually. There's an echo when I'm speaking. If you have a gratitude to share, now would be the time. You could raise your hand virtually or in person. And Rev Neal will call on you if you raise your hand in person. I'm going to check the chat. I don't see any hand raising. Any hand raising in the church?
Marianne is speak loudly, Marianne.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here. It's been a period of time. So grateful. Thank you for your prayers.
Marianne is grateful to be here, and we're grateful to have her.
Hi, Marion.
Rick also. Thank you to Ed Ichek. He is Rick's partner in the treasurer duties on our board, and Rick is grateful to him because Rick was out of town at the board meeting last week.
Ed says you are welcome.
And Ed says you're welcome. I like that we can connect back and forth this way.
All right. So
Two of them. First, face first. You go ahead. So just say your name for everybody so they'll know. Sue. We won't make you remember her last name yet. And Faith?
we can't hear with the microphone.
I think that's it for in person, Donna.
And we have Grateful for the Rain from Teresa. Okay.
I think that's it.
Thank you. Thank you for the thank yous. So Unity of Payson is grounded in meditation and affirmative prayer. We have trained prayer chaplains to support you. You may email your request to Reverend Neal. Reverend Neal's email is on the screen. Our prayer team and Silent Unity will join you in prayer for 60 days, 30 days for us, and we forward to Silent Unity for another 30 days. And by the way, Silent Unity prays 24/7, and the light is on in their prayer tower 24/7. All prayer requests are held sacred and confidential. If you'd like a prayer chaplain to contact you, please leave your contact information with your request. We also have a prayer box on the back table, and you can fill out a prayer request and put it in the box. Unity of Payson's theme for February is love. And the affirmation, let's say that together. I am loved and lifted up. All right. Today's speaker is Rev Neal Worthington, and the title of his talk is Love Lifts You and Me. There's still an echo when I talk. It might be something has to be turned off. Maybe the mic in the room. Okay, the daily word for today is aspire. I aspire to help create a world that works for all. I'm hesitant to read this with that echo. I think it might be distracting. On Zoom. We have the echo on Zoom.
I think I apologize to everyone on Zoom that's with us online. Every time we make an advance in technology, we learn something else. And we're learning something else this morning. So there will continue to be an echo. My apologies. Donna, go ahead.
I hold a vision of an equitable world, a global community that supports and encourages all people to live fully and reach their unique potential. I feel a kinship with those who hold a similar vision and work to realize it. My past experiences and present perspective show me what is mine to do and how I can contribute to realizing my vision. I trust I'll be guided and inspired to find avenues of service where the things I do best and most enjoy will be most helpful. Synchronicity. No, that's not in here. I bless people I may never meet, and I offer my time, talents, and effort to further my vision of a new way of living. With clarity of purpose, I take my place among a growing network of caring, visionary souls. That's us, folks. From Ephesians 4:11-12, the gifts he gave were to equip the saints for the work of ministry, for building up the body of Christ. So we're the body, we're the soul, and we're going to complete our mission. And so it is. And now it is time for Reverend Neal to share the message with us. And please stop the meet. Yes, thank you.
So before I get going, a little preface here for all of you who are with us online and here in person. Will you affirm with us that we master the technology? Let's not be underneath it. Let's get on top of it. Let's be lifted up, as we speak about this morning. Love lifts up you and me. Scientists for millennia have been working with fluids, and particularly that precious fluid, water. And they've built canals to make the optimal use of it. They've made dams, water wheels, water mills, and it has continued throughout time. And it got to be a science with a name, a Greek name, or one that comes from the Greek, called hydraulics. I don't know if anybody knows about hydraulics, but I didn't very much. I only knew that when I went to Walmart and I saw this huge pallet of goods that were about to be put on the shelf, and somebody went pump, pump, pump on the handle, the pallet lifted up. They could never have lifted that pallet up, but hydraulics allowed them to lift that up. Now, hydraulics is the science that talks about a fluid being in a container that's closed, and by applying some pressure to that, it multiplies the effort that's there, and it's huge what can be done from a small bit of effort because of the science of a fluid in a container. And that's what we're going to talk about today. You'll see how I kind of put this idea together with the idea of love and being lifted up. We're going to talk about, I guess you would call it liquid love. Love that can be poured out. Love that can be flow through a conduit. Love that when it is poured out seeks every little crack and seeks to fill those cracks. And love that ultimately needs a container for some of the uses that we want to give it. If you remember, 2 weeks ago, we had a consideration of the origin of love. And I came up with a definition of love, and we'll apply this today. Love is the eternal force of good that flows from source to and through all of creation, including us. That continual, eternal force of good. That is love. And you'll remember some of the things we've talked about in the last 2 weeks, but we'll refer to them as we go on. And today I've distilled it, as I often do, into a key spiritual truth. And the key spiritual truth today is this. I'm going to say it a couple of times so you can get it. The energy of divine love, when active in you and me, lifts us to greater and greater heights. The energy of divine love, when active in you and me, lifts us to greater and greater height. I'm going to look at 3 questions today. Before we do, I'm going to go over and get my glasses so when I look at my notes, I'll actually make some sense of it. Excuse me a second. So, first question, what is required for lifting? What says lifting is needed? Well, it's someone or something that needs to be lifted. First requirement. And it could be those that are sinking. When I think of that sinking, I think of the old illustrations that went with Paul Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress. You remember the slough of despond, and people just sinking that like quicksand. By the way, in my research, I found out that despite whatever movie you may have watched, it's impossible, it's physically impossible for you to sink all the way into quicksand. You can only go about as high as your waist. So if you get in quicksand, hang around, somebody will help you get out. But those that are sinking need to be lifted. Those who don't, and by the way, I'm one of these, and I suspect you're one of these as well. Those who don't remember who they truly are need to be lifted. We speak often of being children of the divine, and being expressions of the divine, of being divine ourselves, fully human and fully divine. But we sometimes forget that. Matter of fact, fairly frequently we forget it and have to bring ourselves back. And those are the ones who need lifting, those who don't remember who they are. Then there are those who have their eyes on the temporary situation, and they can't get beyond it. They can't see a bigger picture. They can't affirm the truth. They know that all things work together for good. They're stuck in the temporary situation. And then there are those who can't believe for themselves for a period of time. Sometimes some of the rest of us, other divine expressions, take the role of believing for them or believing with them and staying alongside of them when they can't find that hope and that belief that they will again. I remember the song that goes like this. When I am down and oh, my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdened to be. Anybody know that song, know what it is? What else goes with it?
I played it this morning, getting ready to do it sometime.
Okay, but what is it? Tell me the title of the song.
Bridge of Troubled Water.
No, that's a good one though. You raised me up. You raised me up. So yes, we need someone or something that needs to be lifted up in order for this lifting to occur. We also need a vessel or a mechanism to do that. Now, in Unity teaching, some of the metaphysical approaches to consciousness talk about vessel consciousness. And vessel consciousness is that situation where you are a conduit or a container that divine love may be poured through, and it goes through and you channel it on through. We won't stop there because we get to the point where we are divine love as well. But that's important at many points in our experience, to have a vessel or a consciousness that will allow love to flow through. And then it's also necessary to have a force that be applied or some action that needs to be taken. Remember the hydraulic jack? A little force here makes a big lift over here. Sometimes the little force that we think we have, we think we're insignificant, can be multiplied as it's put into action through divine love. So that's what's needed. Second question, why is it even important to elevate? Elevate means to lift or make higher. I like the term elevate. We use it, remember, elevator all the time. We're lifting ourselves to a higher floor when we get on that elevator. We raise to a higher position when we're elevated. We know about cranes and forklifts and the little car jacks that pull up the car when you have a flat tire. If you happen to have a hydraulic jack, which is a nice thing to have, because doing it with a little turnbuckle sort of mechanism is a lot harder than that hydraulic jack. So we, in fact, it's important to have that mechanism. And we're going to get into that mechanism. The divine us, combined with right and perfect action, is what lifts up. Remember, we said we're not only a vessel that love flows through, but we are, in fact, that divine love. We are an expression of that divine love, which is so enormous. And as we become that vessel, take that action, become that mechanism, we multiply what we think of in terms of being little ourselves, the little that we can do, and we can do greater things. You remember Jesus, the master teacher, said, the things that I do, the miracles and all of that, these things and greater things will you do. And I believe that it's divine love, that source of energy that created everything that is what allows us to be a participant in that lifting. We often talk about lifting each other up, but more often we talk about it in terms of support. Well, think of support. That's just a sturdy platform to set something on, as opposed to a hydraulic lift that really lifts things up. So I'd like to suggest that love flowing through us, being there as us, the expression of the divine from within us, is more than just support. It is, in fact, lifting up that multiplication of the energy of love that we think we have into something much greater. Remember, our key spiritual truth, the energy of divine love, when active in you and me, lifts us up to greater and greater heights. Why is it important to lift us up? Yeah, it's a really simple answer: to be the best that we can be. We're divine creations. We have free will. We make mistakes. We go off on tangents. But we also have our eyes set on being the best that we can be. When we talk about the divine love being us, we talk about often the Christ within. And so for each of us, being the best Christ that we can be is our aim. That's why it's important to elevate, to lift up. And then how are you and I lifted up? A third question. through the agency of creation. We spoke about love being the substance from which everything manifests. Creation, in all of its forms, is there to lift us up. And with that, to be co-creators in lifting ourselves and others up. The agency of divine love. Sometimes we may be in meditation or in a place of silence, a place of quiet. We just open ourselves and we feel that all of our sensation is that of divine love. It's as though it comes outside of us, from outside of us, but it does not. It comes from within us. It surrounds us as well as being within us. When it flows a little faster, we get a better impact. There's a hydraulic science principle that came much later called Bernoulli's principle. It's pretty simple. The faster the fluid flows, the more the pressure, the more the lift. So if we, in fact, are allowing love to flow freely and fast through us, then that shows up outside in terms of our world, in terms of the lifting up of someone or being lifted up ourselves, because it might be another divine expression. It might be you. It might be you that is lifting me up. And then what we've already pointed to, the agency of divine expression. Each one of us has divine expressions. It's important for us to know that that force is within us, to recognize it, to acknowledge it, and then to be able to share it. It's important for us to let that energy of love increase, 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 so that the impact is much greater when it manifests. We do that primarily with our mind, with the choices that we make, because we make those choices that allow us to put our mind on what the energy of love is and not on something else. So easy to put our minds on things that are negative, to get caught up in the news as we speak of often, and to miss the fact that the focus on divine love, that energy of eternal good within us, means that the expression outside of us will be much more powerful. There's a scripture in the Hebrew scriptures in Isaiah that I like, and I changed the wording around just a little bit, and I think it's really true. Those who wait for love, and by that I'm meaning those who acknowledge love, those who recognize love, shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. What do you think could happen in our world if we were able to focus on divine love? If we were able to be that conduit through which it flows? If we were able to know that right and perfect action, and we can, that's within. We're going to get into that when we say, how do I do that? There's a Buddhist quote that I ran across. What would happen if we all looked after one another? How simple a definition of love is that? Looking after one another. Walking each other home, as Ram Dass would have said. We could literally solve all the world's problems. Inequality would vanish. Injustice and exploitation would vanish. We could end climate change and many of the other disastrous consequences of selfishness. If we look after each other, we can accomplish anything. So how about this? The idea of lifting, the need for lifting, the qualifications of what's needed in order to lift, and how we lift. So we get to that point that I try to get to every week. How do I do that? First, number one, acknowledge divine love wherever you see it. I don't know if you're willing, but I'm going to give it a try this week. That's love for you. Whenever I see something that just resonates with me as divine love, that's love for you right there. Acknowledge it. Point it out. I have a friend who meditates in the morning, and related to me that one day he thought that he would like to look for kindness. You know, we're kind of involved in a kindness works for all thing, and the details, Rick will give us some more details later. But when he set his course to look for kindness, he said, I saw it everywhere. I saw it everywhere. And it was literally the best day of my life. So acknowledge, recognize, point it out. That's love for you. Number two, let love percolate in you. Remember, there used to be coffee pots where it would percolate. Let that energy go round and round and round like the coffee going round and round within you. Let your mind be on that. Set your mind there. Turn aside from some other things. Let it percolate in you. And as you do, you are it anyway. You are love, but you become it for you. You own it, as we might say. And then know how to express love. Every Sunday morning we have a meditation time. And out of that meditation, sometimes we just know that there's something for us to do. We don't go off willy-nilly strategizing and figuring out how to give love from our human perspective, but we check in with that divine love and that divine knowing within us. When we do that, we know that right action to take, and then we take it. So 3 things. Acknowledge that love. Let it percolate in you. Know what is yours to do, and do it. Josh Groban sings a wonderful song, very powerful. I like to listen to it. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. And I'd like to change that to all that I can be. But it goes this way. When looking at divine love raises me up so I can stand on mountains. When we look at ourselves and say, I can raise you up. I can give you a lift. I can express that divine love, that eternal force of good. So I'd like to think that our key spiritual truth, the energy of divine love when active in you and me, or when it becomes you and me, when we recognize that it is me, it lifts us. Both us, those we come in contact with, to greater and greater heights. Remember, liquid love, that hydraulics, where a fluid, when exerted the right kind of pressure, multiplies the benefit. Let's multiply the benefits of love in our world. And we can truly say, love lifted me. So it is.
Thank you, Reverend Neal. I'm reminded of some words in a book I'm reading called A Healing Place. And it's about alchemists who reminded us not to have a leaky vessel because a leaky vessel couldn't make the goal. Anyway, it's time to prepare for meditation, and we'll listen to our meditation song. Thank you.
As Phyllis continues to play for us in the background, let's quiet ourselves to that place of silence, here and now, in this very room, wherever you are. So as we just breathe and feel, sense that eternal force of good that surrounds us and is within us, let us remember that we can be love for each other. As you sit in the quiet, allow images to come to your mind of when someone was love for you, when you felt no, not just a human love, but beyond that, a divine love, that eternal force of good. When you've seen that, look to see where you might have been that love for someone else. So I want us to go into a time of silence. And as we do, put before you the question, am I willing to be loved? Am I willing to be loved? And then in the quiet, listen, listen, listen for what is yours to do in order to be loved. Let's spend some time now as we consider this. This could go for a long time. Looking at your willingness to be loved. Discerning, knowing what is yours to do. How you can be part of lifting someone, that someone that you're pointed to, that someone it's yours to lift up. And so as we bring our awareness back to this time and place, tuck away that knowing that you discovered. I trust you were able to say, I am willing to be loved. And as we come back to this time, we open our eyes and we come back to this present place. Knowing in our willingness, I say, just do it. I'm going to give you another chance to get all the way back here because it's possible it took you a while to get back. And then I'll say, and so it is.
And so it is, and so we let it be. Now is the time to share our gifts and offering. Unity of Payson greatly appreciates your gifts in support of this ministry. As you listen to the offering song, you will have time to make a contribution. The information for giving is on the slides. Let's bring our attention to our gift at this time. Let's call to mind our heart's desires. As together we affirm, freely we give, and freely we receive.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day.
I'm
Thank
jumping
you
the gun.
for this day, Spirit. Thank
Okay,
you for this
look on the sheet that you have. Here we go.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my this healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's time for the offering dedication now. We're grateful for these gifts. We're grateful for the givers.
Donna, we're still singing in person here. I'll cue you. God is love, sweet love. God is love, sweet love. Lift above, beneath, within. Love is mine, and all is well. God is love, sweet love. God is love, sweet love. That love is mine. Mine. Love lifted me when nothing else could help. Love lifted me. Love lifted me. Love lifted me when nothing else could help. Lifted me. Donna, go ahead.
Okay. We're grateful for these gifts and for the abundance that they symbolize. We bless the givers and the gifts as we say together, divine love flowing through us blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. We are abundantly prosperous and we give
thanks.
And so it is. Next Sunday's speaker is Reverend Julianne Lewis. And her title of her talk is Love, Listen, Offer, Value, Empower. Let me try that again. Love, Listen, Offer, Value, Empower. An acronym for love. Unity of Pace's theme for February continues as love. And the theme is I am loved and lifted up. It was really fun listening to you sing, Reverend Neal. More of that, please. I'll share a few announcements with you today, but there are many things happening. Please check the website, unityofpayson.org, or the Monday e-newsletter for all the details. Again, our regular weekly events are morning cafes, Monday through Saturday at 9:30 a.m. We do a reading of the daily word or some other inspirational message, and we discuss it. Qigong Tai Chi with Teresa, Sundays and Wednesdays at 4:30 on Zoom. Highway cleanup, contact me. Organic gardening at Shanti Olmsted, Geisela. Contact Ram to participate. The writers group is now monthly on the fourth Thursday, 4 to 5 p.m. I thought we were doing it 3 to 4. No? 3 to 4? Yes. Okay, it's 3 to 4 p.m. on Thursday, February 23rd. And I just got back into writing today, so I'm going to be there. A Course in Miracles with Rev Neal, Tuesday, February 21st at 6 p.m. This meets the first and third Tuesdays. Next, we have a new book study, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. led by Reverend Neal. It'll be 5 Wednesdays beginning February 22nd, 3 p.m., both in the Fellowship Hall Church and on Zoom, hybrid. You know, we did membership meetings hybrid, and I thought they worked out really well. But there's no live music, so that might be the difference. Okay, Concert for Kindness, mark your calendar, March 12th, 4 to 6 p.m., featuring Daniel Nahmod in the sanctuary of Payson United Methodist Church. And Daniel will be playing for us on that day. So all prayers for getting live music onto Zoom on March 12th. And a PS from Neil.
I'm excited about the things that are going around with regard to the kindness initiative or project. We hardly even know how to tell it. But Rick, come on up front, and Rick's kind of spearheaded, or he was the guy that got this started. And he's the one that's really jumping in on it. So I'd like him to share just a little bit more with us. And those of you who are distant from us, be with us in spirit for some of these things, even if you can't in person.
Thank you, Reverend Neal. A couple things. First of all, we are excited about the concert, and if any of those of you in this room are willing to take our wonderful poster and get it up in various spots, we have a sign-up sheet in the back, so we can all decide who's going to Safeway, et cetera, right? So that's what this is for, and some of these have already been delivered, so we look forward to that. We have some very expensive jewelry in the back here. Yeah, you know, it's Kindness Works for All wristband, and we have some pins, and the bumper stickers are on the way, so be prepared for that. If you've got any boo-boos on your car, you can put more than one on, you know how that works. And then tickets, we have tickets too, and the tickets are basically just sort of a signal. People can just show up for the concert. If you want to bring non-perishable food, that'd be great. If you want to make a donation specifically to Kindness Works for All or to your favorite food bank, remember we're doing St. Vincent de Paul, we're doing the Presbyterian Food Bank, we're doing the program here at UMC, which is the Weekend Student Food Program. I mean, it's hard to believe we got 80 kids with no food for the weekend. They get food in school, breakfast and lunch, but nothing for the weekend. So the folks here pack food for them, and it's distributed through the school system privately and quietly, right? And then also for the shelter. I keep calling it the homeless shelter, but that's not what it is, the warming center. So all those are the beneficiaries of that. So that's what we're doing. So thank you very much. And the other quick thing you could really help for is just reach out to a friend or two or three. Just say, hey, come on, let's go to the concert. Let's make sure we're here. Daniel's wonderful, as you know, from singing the songs on Sunday, but he's going to be here for real. It's going to be exciting. Thank you.
So just to follow up on that, Rick has tickets. I say maybe get some for yourself. You can write a check to Unity Payson and Law, go in the same place. Marion, you have a question?
Yeah, the time for the concert again.
4 o'clock. Yeah, we got our 3s and our 4s straight here. 4 o'clock for the concert, it's so we don't conflict with something else. 3 o'clock for writers group and 3 o'clock for the power notes. What was that? No, it's a love offering basis. We're suggesting $10 per person, and it's all going to people who deal with food insufficiency here in Payson. We're able to support the concert outside of that. The cost for that has been sponsored. So we just want to support these agencies in town that are feeding people. I know from personal experience that 30 plus people every day have a hot meal at the homeless at the warming center that's made for them every day, and then the food banks and the program that Rick told you about here. So I think we're at the end of things. So if you're here in person, would you stand with me and we'll sing the peace song? And those of you who are virtually, if you sing along too, we might even hear you wherever you are. And one more thing. And then after we conclude with the prayer for protection, let's come back after about 5 minutes for a little conversation. People will be socializing here in the room, for those of us in person. But for those of you who are online, hang in there. Go get a second cup of coffee or something and come back in about 5 minutes, and we'll just turn the camera around, have a little conversation about the events of the morning, and get a chance to connect with everybody. So,
Rev Neal,
yes.
Teresa's asking if someone will be there at 11:45 so she can buy some bumper stickers, bracelets, tickets, and pins.
Well, I'm looking at Rick there, and he's saying somebody will be here.
Yeah. Yes, Teresa. Thank you.
Rick will talk to you, Teresa, but someone will be here, I guarantee you, and we'll have something for you if you want to come right over. So the prayer, peace song. Here we go. And a prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. And the presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. See you in 5 minutes for a little conversation.